Welcome to Two Lamps Last Hour News.
I'm Vernon.
I'm Cheryl. We have a song for y'all today. Also, we have some news for y'all. LA riots, protests across U.S. Israel attacks Iran's capital. And we have a couple of clips, one from Nations Conspire, and the other, a short clip, part of my dream concerning Trump and the United States. And Bible at the end. So y'all stay tuned.
The spirit of Judas will not be satisfied holding the Doge money bag. D-O-G-E, Doge money bag. He also will declare martial law or use a friendly fire cyber attack to control the crowds. You can be prepared for that.
Yes.
And we have these videos, and let's get into it.
Is it really gonna happen like they say? Aliens coming down from the sky. The brokers will tell you it'll be alright. Bad ideas looking through Lucifer's eyes. And God's children should be surprised. Heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. They're gonna hijack your DNA, try to make you say what they want you to say. They own all you own and the children long gone. Modify your good as they sing you their song. They could have cured it all, but they wanted that dollar. They're under the dollar, make them sorry. That silver and gold can't buy them a heavenly home. So the wicked will come and the wicked will go. There's one more thing that you need to know. Heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. You know heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. You know heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. Though the rivers run dry and the mountains divide, you're gonna live forever, even if you die. Heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. You know that heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. You know that heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. Though the rivers run dry and the mountains divide, all God's children gonna be alright. Heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age. Heaven and earth are gonna shake at the end of the age.
In the United States, it's been a week of riots. It started in Los Angeles with anti-immigration raids. Now tensions are boiling over. Last night, there was a curfew in downtown LA. This was for the second straight night. Multiple people were arrested. There was also vandalism. Masked looters rampaged an Apple store in the city. Another video shows rioters outside a Zara outlet. They were seen looting the store. 300 people have been arrested since last Friday. 157 people were arrested for assault. Federal prosecutors have charged 2 of them for throwing Molotov cocktails at the police. Meanwhile, the National Guard still remains in the city. Currently, there are 2,000 National Guard troops. Another 2,000 are stationed outside, and 700 more Marines have been mobilized. They will be deployed to LA in the next 48 hours. Add this. Together, there are almost 4,700 active troops in and around Los Angeles. 4,700. In Iraq and Syria, the US has 2,500 troops. So there are more troops, more US troops deployed to an American state than West Asia. California Governor Gavin Newsom has slammed this deployment. He says Trump has weaponized the US troops.
He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement.
But even with this mega deployment, the situation is spiraling out of control. Yesterday, a huge crowd gathered outside a hotel in the county. This was after unconfirmed social media reports. They claimed that ICE members were living in those hotels. ICE stands for America's Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are behind the anti-immigration raids in Los Angeles. Social media posts claim that they were staying in this hotel, so several protesters gathered outside. But as LA continues to simmer, protests have spread across the United States in New York, Seattle, Chicago, Boston, Austin, Dallas, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. In some cities, mayors have announced a state of emergency. There's a curfew after protesters blocked roads. In Seattle, 8 people have been arrested, 3 have been detained in Arizona, yet Donald Trump is not convinced. The US president says he has no clue about the nationwide protests.
Protests spread out in 16 cities across the U.S.
Well, I don't know. That's what you're saying. Do I believe you? I don't think so. I can tell you that what we have is a situation in Los Angeles that was caused by gross incompetence. They didn't have the police to handle it. The police were asking us to come in. They were very late. We had to go in to save a lot of ICE officers, as you know, who were held up. They were holed up in a building, and they were being attacked. And the military went in. The National Guard went in and got them. The police weren't able, unfortunately, to move fast enough, but we moved fast enough. And while we were there, we stayed there, and we stopped tremendous destruction and death.
Trump may be clueless, but things are heating up across the United States, and it will only get worse this weekend. Saturday is the 250th anniversary of the US Army. It is also President Donald Trump's birthday. There's a mega military parade in Washington, D.C., the largest that the city has seen in decades. At the same time, American cities are bracing for mega protests. It's called the No Kings Rallies. More than 1,800 such rallies are planned for that day. Organized by the 50501 movement. This stands for 50 protests, 50 states, 1 movement, 50501. The group believes that Donald Trump is acting like an authoritarian, hence the name of the protest, No Kings. Texas has already deployed the National Guard. Anyone protesting will be detained. So on one side, there's a president hosting a parade with tanks, troops, and flags. On the other is a nation on edge, a nation that is protesting, not celebrating. This weekend, America will be a tale of 2 cities. The capital, where Trump will put on a show of power, and the streets, where Americans will march to show defiance. Which one will history remember? The man in the parade or the people on the streets? Because come Saturday, the US won't just be celebrating its army, it will be testing its democracy.
Explosions lighting up the night in Tehran as Israel attacks Iran's capital. Israel says it targeted Iran's main enrichment facility, nuclear scientists, and ballistic missile programs. The attack comes as tensions over Iran's advancing nuclear program reached new heights. Israel has warned for years it would not allow Iran to build a nuclear weapon. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. was not involved in the attack, and warned Iran not to target U.S. interests in response. Israel says this operation will continue for many days and to shut down Israel's airspace until further notice.
It's the resources, it's the surveillance assets, it's the intelligence, and it's this full support structure that comes along the way. So this is really a good thing for everyone's protection.
So now you're in a world where Fox News is talking about drones being flown and surveillance in a surveillance state, and conservatives love it. They're like, yeah, we need that because we need to find out what people out there are causing problems. We need to see which people are illegal. We'll get their faces. We'll get facial recognition. We'll be able to track and monitor all these people, and everybody's on board. Everybody's on board, right? Because that's the point of the left-right divide, the political divide. When it works to your advantage, then suddenly you support a surveillance state. When these are the people, the conservatives are supposed to be the ones who are against a surveillance state, who are supposed to know about what invoking martial law would mean, about what the deep state really wants, about AI governance, about all of this biometric data that they're gathering. But they don't. They think that this is a great, wonderful thing, right? How about a couple of months ago when all the drones were flying over New Jersey and New York, and nobody was saying boo when Donald Trump came in office and didn't tell you what it was. But before Donald Trump came in, they were saying that Joe Biden's responsible, the Democrats are doing something, they're targeting Donald Trump's golf course with the drones, drone this, drone that. Donald Trump comes in, he says, we don't know what they are, they're no big deal. He doesn't bring attention to it, and all these people just forget about how your government was doing a test run with drones over the East Coast to see how you responded to those test runs, flying them over people's homes, getting you used to a surveillance state. So we have drones flying over LA, and if this expands, which it will, because we have Newsweek, we have all the mainstream media who are taking the website, the No Kings website, and they're promoting where these events are going to occur without promoting it, right? Map and list cities hosting No Kings protest against Trump on June 14th. And they give you every single location, what time it starts, what time it ends, all of it in Newsweek, in New York Times, in Time Magazine, all of them. Instead of saying, hey, what we should do is shut down the website. We shouldn't promote the events because these could be considered militia-like events or dangerous events where things could occur, people could get hurt, things could be destroyed, property could be destroyed. No, the mainstream media, of course, is promoting it. The government's not expecting you to ask the question as to why they wouldn't shut down the No Movement website and prevent this from occurring, since they're telling you where they're going to be. Shouldn't they be showing up and saying, hey, you're not allowed to do this because these aren't peaceful protests? Oh, they're allowing it because it's peaceful protests when everybody out there knows that it's not peaceful protests, right? Because they're tearing down statues, they're graffitiing things, right? They're causing chaos in the streets, they're opposing the police. It's a joke. It's an utter joke. Look at the list of locations, how many places they could be. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, California, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho. So, I mean, who is organizing it in Hawaii? Right? Some guy found the No Kings website and is organizing. We're supposed to be the government's not behind it. It's a joke. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Mass, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico. We missing any states? New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. I'm positive I listed every single state, but I think it's in every single state. And the map practically shows us every single state. In fact, we even have some down in Mexico occur. So the mainstream media is promoting this, wanting people to attend it, obviously. And then these people don't even realize that the government's flying drones above you, provoking you into violence, because that's what this is. This is the government using psychological ops to provoke you into what you think is peaceful protest. Well, they'll have plants there who are going to set fire to things, who are going to burglarize, who are going to terrorize, and then you're going to be on camera, and you're going to be put on a list, and you're going to be tracked and monitored, and you're going to say, well, I don't care, I'm not doing anything wrong, right? We have Fox News promoting the drones, we have the mainstream media promoting the event, we have no signs of the government shutting it down, and of course, we're allowing the government to invoke curfews again. How many times has the government invoked a curfew? COVID curfew. We heard about some other events over the last couple of years where cities like Detroit went under curfew. Curfew. Get used to it. The more they do this, the more desensitized people become. And they're like, what's the big deal? There's a curfew, right? Yeah, for months on end, for a year almost, we had curfews. Stores had to close at 6 o'clock at night. You had to be home before sundown, right? And if anybody out there's paying attention
to the connection to wearing masks and carbon emissions. They have the same thing ready for you when it comes to the carbon footprint and the carbon laws that they're pushing and passing. That there's going to be curfews. You're going to live like a prisoner. Do prisoners have a bedtime, lights out, curfew, and a lot of time outside?
Welcome to Two Lamps Last Hour News.
I'm Vernon.
I'm Cheryl.
Today we're going to talk about a dream that Cheryl had about Trump and what we think it was about the United States.
Right. Well, let me begin. It's not a very long dream, but it was about, I don't know exactly how long after the COVID happened, but not too long after the COVID happened. I had a dream that I was on a ship and I was sitting down and I could see Trump over to the left, like over there to the left. And he was walking that way. And he was eating a sandwich. So he had a sandwich in front of him and he was holding the sandwich. And he was walking that way and he was eating the sandwich. And right after that, the ship, it's like the land broke off and went into the sea. And, or you could say the ship broke off and went into the sea. And I was on the ship. I'm not sure who all was on the ship, but I was on the ship. And there was somebody else there with me that was on the ship. And after the ship broke off from the land and went into the sea, then it started filling up with water. And the water was getting higher. And before it got too high, I started swinging around on things that were in there, something that was in there. I don't know if it was some ropes or what it was, but I was swinging around on something to try to get out of there. And so I would swing to one place, and then whoever that was with me would swing behind me, trying to follow me to do whatever next I was going to do to try to get out. So I would swing to get to another place. And I kept doing that until eventually I was trying to make my way to the outside of the ship. And finally, I guess I finally made my way to the outside of the ship. And then all of a sudden, I was back on the land. And that was the idea, was to try to get out of there to find my way back. And so I ended up back on the land, and I was walking through somebody else's property. And it's like I went through like a garage, somebody's garage, or something like that. And it's like I was trying to find my way back home. And then after that, I guess either I woke up or that was the end of the dream. It's been a while since I had the dream, because the dream was back, after the COVID happened. And when I had the dream, I had the idea that the dream meant that Trump is the one who slung us into all that mess with that COVID. And that I was trying to, and when I thought about that, I was trying to get back home, or back to the land. And, I also thought about that, the land and the sea means something in the Bible. And I wasn't sure how much of that, meant anything in the dream. But I know what is the land and the sea stand for? The sea.
The sea stands for, like a lot of people in an area. A lot of them talks about land when it's not so populous, not so many people.
So, I just wanted to point that out too. I'm not sure, how much of that, but it did cross my mind about, I remembered that we had been studying and stuff in the Word, and I realized that the land and the sea meant something. But the real, the main thing that I got out of the dream is that Trump had slung us into all that mess with that COVID. So I wanted to share my dream with all of y'all, to let y'all know that what everybody sees right now is not as it appears. Let's just put it this way: some people, because I think some people's eyes are open to what's really going on, but there are still some people that really believe that Trump is going to save us, and that things are going to get better. But that's not the case. So I wanted to tell my dream, to share with all of y'all. And that way, hopefully, it would open some people's eyes to the truth of what's really going on.
To the chief musician upon Jonathan Rekokim, Miktam of David, when the Philistines took him in Gath.
Be merciful unto me, O God, for man would swallow me up. He fighting daily oppresseth me. Mine enemies would daily swallow me up, for they be many that fight against me, O thou Most High. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. In God I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. Every day they wrest my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather themselves together. They hide themselves. They mark my steps when they wait for my soul. Shall they escape by iniquity? In thine anger cast down the people, O God. Thou tellest my wanderings. Put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? When I cry unto thee, Then shall mine enemies turn back. This I know, for God is for me. In God will I praise his word. In the Lord will I praise his word. In God have I put my trust. I will not be afraid what man can do unto me. Thy vows are upon me, O God. I will render praises unto thee. For thou hast delivered my soul from death. Wilt not thou deliver my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living?